Welcome to the NFL. Let's go! Let's go!
Welcome in. Jeremy Popielarz here with you today. It's championship weekend, and we are here to go ahead and get those questions answered for you to hopefully optimize that lineup and get those championship wins. It's a crazy start to the season, week already. Plenty of duds, plenty of big surprising performances. Marion Hampton, I didn't see 20 points from him. Nico Collins, Jameson Williams letting us down at the receiver position. Gibbs, a big vanishing act. It's been a lot of fun thus far here. And I'd probably put few of us in some sticky situations heading into Sunday and Monday, and it may have helped some of us as well along the ride. So either way, we're here for the ride. We're here for the fun. We're going to go ahead and dive into these questions here in a second, but normal housekeeping, pretty simple. Got to start sit thread over on my Twitter at HopesFFH. You can drop the questions there. Those will not be pulled up. Can't pull those up on this platform. However, we can. If you go to the FTN Fantasy Twitter page, you can go ahead and pull that. I can pull those questions there if you drop it in there. We're also got it here on YouTube. Again, drop in the comments. We can go ahead and get to those questions. And we'll make up time. We'll get through as many as we can until we get close to the 12:30 range. We'll see how it is. Typically, sometimes, not too many questions. Championship weekend. Excuse me. Narrowed down the teams that are available. But yeah, we'll get the questions coming through here, and let's roll. Let's get this thing flying. All right, let's roll. Why is this not working? Show. There we go. Sorry, David. We're working here, but good morning. Marvin Harrison Jr. should have tossed that into the opening segment there, David. But yeah, it's a rough go for Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. Obviously, the injury's a little bit. What do the Cardinals have to play for? Michael Wilson's playing well. No reason to rush Marvin Harrison Jr. in. So I get it. I know it's a little bit of a suppressed value. Hard to start at this point in time. Seems like it's a Michael Wilson show for a bit. Harrison's still a decent flex, depending on where and who else you're battling between. Let's see here. May versus Lawrence. Yeah, May could fall off. I'm fine going to Lawrence. Both these guys are top 5 options for me this week. I still have May as the go-to guy this week. My quarterback won, so I still have May ahead of Lawrence. But David, I get that the concern of last time. So if you want to, T-Law is a good spot too. Should be able to throw all over Indianapolis. So I'm cool with pivoting to Trevor Lawrence if you're more comfortable there. H over on X, Wilson, Diggs, or Carter. I'm on Diggs. I still think that, again, I've made pretty high. Diggs is kind of the go-to receiver in that room at this point in time. Not much left. It's going to be a lot of probably Stephon Diggs and Hunter Henry today. You'll see Kyle Wilson get involved a little bit, or Kyle Williams, but I do think that Diggs is probably the go-to there for UH. Kyle Williams, Downs, or Parker, Washington. You're in that territory, David. Probably lean to Marvin Harrison Jr. Just a little bit of more safety. Still an upside. Scores a touchdown. You're going to have a double-digit week, which Harrison could easily do. Likely Arizona's playing from a little bit from behind. So the issue with Parker, Washington, is I'm concerned about how that game goes. We'll just have to see if Indy can stick with Jacksonville, kind of play spoiler there a little bit, but I do think that I would go with Marvin Harrison Jr. Unless you need like a huge upside play, then it's probably Kyle Williams. Gabe, Michael Wilson, or Brian Thomas. I'd go Michael Wilson here. Again, the safety for like 10 to 15 points feels right there with Kyle Williams. All right, Daniello over on X. Myers, Warren, Henderson, or Jennings, 2 flex spots. So I'm going to go with Jawan Jennings and Henderson. Much like David alluded to, I feel like this is a running game here for the New England Patriots. I think you're going to see a decent amount of Henderson, decent amount of Stevenson, decent amount of even Drake May potentially on the ground. So should be able to run against the Jets. Stephon over on X, Hill, Tyler Warren, or Manungai. Warren and Monungai would be my 2 for me. I'm not really in on the Taysom Hill hype. I just don't see if he has the same amount of touches. Yeah, sure, we're probably going to get a similar output from Taysom Hill. I just don't think that that's in the cards. I think they kind of did that to kind of, it was kind of some chatter that I saw at least on X was that it was more of like a send off for Taysom Hill, unlikely to probably be back in New Orleans next year, if in football at all next year. So I think that that was kind of a little bit of the play there for Taysom Hill. So I'm not buying that he's going to get 15 touches again this week. I think that he's going to fall back and regress kind of what it was the prior weeks. So I'm just a little bit out on Taysom Hill. Again, if you want to be in on him, if he gets 15 touches, he probably does finish as a very good fantasy option. I just don't see that. So if you believe that, start Taysom Hill. I just don't think that happens. So Wayne, speaking of Taysom Hill, I'm in on Hunter Henry. I think that he's going to have a big day today. Not much left there in the playing field for pass catchers for Drake May, and I think that we'll see a little bit of it. So I think I'm in on Hunter Henry today. And then standard league underdog after Pickens, Nico. Yeah, I mean, I still like Hunter Henry. I just don't think Taysom Hill, like I said, Wayne, it gets the target volume that we want, and it could be a trap. Jose, I don't have anything from you, Jose. So if you want to toss it in there, yeah. If it's asked over on Twitter, I may not have gotten to it just yet. But in the comments here, we got nothing from you, Jose. So feel free. Steven, deep 20-team league in the final. My running back 2 has always been an issue. Even mine and not a 20-team league. So I feel your pain. Down to one of these for the ship. Ty Johnson, Travion Williams, Raheem Sanders. I like Ty Johnson. Don't mind the Bills helmets. Ignore that. It is not a homer type of play. It's more of a homer understands how his team wants to attack a team. We'll call it that. Yeah, I think Ty Johnson, good chance he scores. I mean, there's no playmakers for the Bills in the wide receiver room. You can attack the Eagles against the Eagles in the passing game, and I think that the running backs have been a little bit tougher to get going in the passing game for the Eagles, but the Bills are phenomenal at getting the running backs touches, and Ty Johnson is a key piece of that. I think if this game is shut down as far as the pure running game with James Cook, you're going to have to see the running backs get involved in the passing game. And when that comes to play, it's Ty Johnson. I think this game is pretty close. It's a little mucky. Weather's not going to be great, so I like Ty Johnson as a sneaky play today. I don't think he explodes, but I don't think either of these other two do either, Steven. So I'm in on Ty Johnson, the more explosive offense, more likely to score a touchdown. So David, Flex, Fannin, Ken Walker, Hunter Henry, Carter, also starting Trey and Wilson, Pollard, Coker, Kyle Williams, A.D. Mitchell. Oh boy. Probably either Henry or Fannin would be my play here. Got a lot of good options though. I would, yeah, I'm probably gonna go Harold Fannin. Like the volume. That's probably where I'm gonna go. Pitney, defense, Bills, Niners, or Jags. I'm gonna go with the Jags against the Colts. They've been coming on a little bit as of late. Phillip Rivers up and down. Should get maybe an interception or two. Definitely plenty of sacks. The Bills would be second. They're like a coin flip. Like you're either going to get a terrible performance or they're going to have a touchdown, maybe a pick six, something crazy like that. I would say to the Jags, though, feels a little safer. T-Law or Purdy, we're starting over Allen. Opponent has James Cook and May. I don't mind it. So I don't have Allen at 1, which is a typical spot for most people. A lot of people I know over at FTN2 have him into like the 6-7 territory. Concerning that the passing game may not be going. We may see a lot of James Cook again today. So yeah, I would probably go to Lawrence. I think that that's a good spot for him against Indianapolis. So if you're going to do it, T-Law feels like the play there, Jose. Antonio, full PPR, Burden, or Sampson. I'm going to go with Dylan Sampson. As long as he's active, that should be coming out pretty soon. I believe he's going to be. Not many options there in that backfield. Raheem Sanders isn't the explosive play. Sampson's going to be kind of the pass catcher and kind of the lead back-ish type of role probably for Cleveland. That's probably going to be a spot for them to attack the Steelers today. So I'm going to go with Sampson. I do like Burden. but I do think Samson probably has the better day. No problem, Steven. Yeah. See? Reassurance. That's all we ever need sometimes. Even I need it, you know? Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I start this guy or not? And I do this every week. It's the thing. And I'm usually, I always get mine wrong. So it always works out. Much like starting Ladd McConkey yesterday. And he's, ruining my weekend. Either way, sky capping over at X, Warren, or London. They go on to ask questionable tag. Yeah, I get that. And that's probably why I'm going to go Warren. I don't want the 0. So I will go with Tyler Warren there. AA Ron over on X, Kyle Williams, Abuka, or Washington. I'd probably go Washington there. Diego, tight ends, Barner, Hill, or Waller. I would go with Barner there. Then he's got Ramondre or Shakir for flex. I would probably go with Shakir. Don't love either, but it's what it is. T-Max illnesses are always scary because we know what they're scary and not scary. We don't know what the limitation is. So like when you have an injury, it's easy to know, okay, his hand, that's concerning. Illness, probably just sick. So how does that affect him? I'm worried. I was worried to kind of begin with against Seattle secondary. So not super amped to play him. Similar option. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine to go with Pollard, maybe. I'd be fine with that. I think T-Max, like up and down. We may see more Jalen Coker just because Mac may be a decoy. We also may see Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. So, yeah, I would probably go to Pollard, to be honest. Kittle is probably out by the report that I've seen, Jose, and very streamable. I would definitely be playing Tunches. I don't think he's going to get you, 30 points like Kittle would unless he scores 3 touchdowns. But feels like he's probably going to score. That would be the thing. I think you're safe for a couple of double-digit points. There's probably only 10 or so tight ends I'd start over him today. So, yeah, I'm in on Tunches. Kyle over on X, Tyrone Tracy or Michael Wilson. I'd go Tracy there. 0-2 PPR league, Jacoby Brissett or Hurts. I would go Brissett. Again, the weather in Buffalo not ideal. Could also be a low-scoring game. 2 pretty good defenses battling for some playoff spots. So, yeah, I'd go with Brissett. Also, the Eagles really don't have much to play for. Kind of locked into kind of a territory. So, I could see them not overly being pushing, I guess, in this game. They'll try to win, but I could see it not being crazy day for Jalen Hurts. Flex Michael Wilson, Pittman, or Kyron would be Kyron Williams. Noja, I think that's all it's pronounced. John, looks like maybe your handle. Dowdle or Carter, half PPR. I'm gonna go Michael Carter. I like Dowdle as like a sneaky play. Like I don't trust it. Not gonna lie. I have him starting in a spot. Do need him to do things, lots of things. But Michael Carter's the safer play. Dowdle, it depends how Seattle's game goes. I could see him being fairly involved though. Dowdle feels like a sneaky guy that's gonna blow off a running back one type of week this week. So let's see here. Waller or May for Call of Cthulhu. I think that's correct. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Waller or Mayer? Probably Michael Mayer. My immediate reaction would be go see if Tunges is available or Parkinson or somebody else. I don't love either of these players. Waller's just really touchdown dependent. Don't love it. Mayer's probably going to be the same. So I like other options if they're out there. So maybe take a check. See if Tunges is out there. Parkinson, somebody else, Strange, something like that. If not, go Mayer. Pitts or Fannin? I have Fannin one spot ahead of Pitts. Both are perfectly fine. I like both of them. If you want to avoid the injury, I guess, concern with Fannin and go with Pitts, that's fine. Also, Pitts could get the bump if London is out. So, yeah, I like both. I lean to Fannin a little bit by the slightest edge, and probably less than a full point in fantasy. So I don't think you can go wrong, to be honest. But um, person asking about the weather. If I knew the weather, I'd be a weatherman. Nah, just joking. Is it sad? I don't even really know what's going on today in my own backyard right now. Let's take a look. See, that's what I'm doing. I'll look it up for you. I'll help. Let's take a peek. I don't remember. Oh yeah, she's still gonna rain. Oh no, my computer doesn't like the Weather Channel. There we go. Okay. Now that we've taken care of your local weather, Nicholas Kapak on X, Gainwell or Higgins would be Gainwell. I like the spot for both the Steelers running backs today. Full PPR, Carol Baskins, Dowdle, or Irving would be Bucky Irving. I know it's been rough, but still going to ride with Bucky Irving. Tungens or Strange. I actually like Brenton Strange a little more today than Tungens. May or Lawrence would be May. And then Saints or Jags on defense and special teams would be the Jaguars. Lucas Graza, full PPR, Henderson or Drake London. I will go with Hendo. I'll avoid the potential of London missing. So we got Hill, Johnson, Waller, Strange, Loveland, or Tunges. I would go Strange. T. Higgins, Michael Carter for Andrew would be Carter. Warren or Henderson for Dale would be Henderson. BTC Andretti, Tyler Warren, or Brenton Strange. I would go Tyler Warren. Elliott Park, Alec Pierce, or Kyle Williams. I will go Williams. Mayor T-Law had to pick up Hunter Henry due to Bowers being on IR. Stack him then. Mr. Weber on X. I will go Drake May. Let's go back here. Scotty with the news at Tet. Who would you flex in PPR? Tet, Charbonnet, Samson, Coker, Ibuka. I'm fine going to Dylan Sampson here for you, Scotty. Let's see here. So we got Lawrence, Gainwell, Irving, Chase, Michael Wilson, Johnson, Kyron Williams. Looks good to me. Let's see here, Jake. Not just a chair, Bucky Irving or Gainwell or Warren have both. I'm gonna actually go with Warren over Bucky Irving. Samson or Spears for Jamie would be if I could type would be Dylan Sampson. Jason, May or Lawrence would be May. Tyler Warren, Jawan Jennings would be Jawan. Flex, tap Michael Carter, Wandell, or Sampson. I will go with Carter. Minty Fresh, AJ Brown or Mike Evans would be Mike Evans. Warren or DeAndre Swift for Texas would be Jalen Warren. Matt, T-Law or Allen. I still like Allen. Start 3 of Henderson, Swift, Warren, Jawan Jennings. Sit Swift. Minty Fresh again. Mayers, Hill, or Kincaid. Ooh, we'll go Kincaid. Maybe he scores touchdown today. That'd be cool, right? Could use that. Alex Corum, Burden, or Hill would be Burden. Henderson or Carter would be Henderson. Harris, Kiefer, Brissett, or T-Law. I would go Trevor Lawrence here. Like spot against Indy. Heard there could be some weather going on there in Cincinnati, so yeah, I'll avoid that with Trevor Lawrence. Sleepy sit Bryce Young for Gainwell and Superflex. Ooh, this is tough. Yes. I'm actually going to say yes. I'm worried Bryce has a rough day against the Seattle secondary and pass rush. I'm thinking that we may see Carolina try to attack on the ground and then some play action stuff, especially with Tet being a little sick. I'll go with Gainwell. I like the spot for him. No receivers. It's got to be a lot of Gainwell and a lot of Jalen Warren today for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what is a pretty must-win game-ish type of territory for them with Baltimore picking up the win too. So Harris, Kiefer, Waddle, Wandell, Marvin Harrison Jr., Bryce, or Sampson. Pick one. I'm going to go Jalen Waddle. Huge upside, safe floor, even with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. Good play last week too. He was solid, so I'm going to take that one there. Harris with a ton of upside still in Waddle. Morning Moons man, Waller, Taysom Hill, Pearsall, Coker. Need one tight end, one flex. I suppose I'll go Taysom Hill here. Don't love either Moons man, so if there's somebody else on the wire, maybe Tunges, something like that, would be my preferred for tight end. As far as flex goes, I'll go with Pearsall if he plays. So if you don't have a backup, I would go with Jalen Coker. Doug's brother, Kenneth Walker or Wandell. I would go Ken Walker. Like the spot for him today against Carolina. Could be kind of one of those gritty type of games there. Big Ham on X Evans and London would be the two for me. Hey. Matt Hamilton, choose two. Sampson, Carter, Pollard, Stevenson. Carter and Sampson for me. Rally Sporters, Seahawks, or Giants defense. I will go with Seattle. Dave Purdy, Burrow, Lawrence. I would go with T-Law. 3 really good options there, Dave. That's a tough one there. Let's see here. Cassandra, flex. Should I use Michael Carter, Burn, Washington, or Corum? I would go with Michael Carter. Vic Calfari? I think that's how it is. Like Drake London or Michael Wilson. I will go with Michael Wilson. Avoid the potential bust of London not playing. Let's see here. Michael Wilson, London. I have Michael Carter and the other flex. Devonta Smith. Yo, what up, dog? Wait for Kittle or play Tunges, Strange, or Waller. I would just play Strange. Kittle is likely not playing. Javier Rojas, half PPR tight end, start one. Hill, Stranger, Loveland would be Strange, and he better not let me down because I'm offering him a lot up here to people. That's all I gotta say. Putting it in the universe. AK, Jalen Warren, Waddle, or Wilson. I will go with Jalen Warren. Tungens, Loveland, or Taysom Hill would be Tunges. JJ Taysom or Loveland would be Loveland. Alex Rapp, Pitts or Taysom would be Pitts. Flex Kyle Williams or Luther Burden would be Luther Burden, Alex. Nicholas Palumbo, Henderson, Trey Tucker, Luther Burden would be Henderson. Tony Guapo, full PPR, Corum, Sampson, Abuka, Tyler Warren. I will go with Sampson. Dowdle or Burden for Paywan. We'll go Burden. I want it to be Dowdle. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Sports Ball Gal, Stevenson or Pollard. I will go with Tony Pollard. Barnyard Chicken, need one from these flex. Warren, Walker, Stevenson, Carter. Would be Jalen Warren for me. Mark Meckesman on X, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Pittman, Burger, and Waddle, Pollard. So Waddle and Pittman, and then Pollard and flex. Boop, 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 boop. Juwan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, ETN, or Mike Evans would be Mike Evans for me, G. Mark May or Burrow would be Drake May. Mark Meckesman also, and Caleb Williams or Jalen Hurts would be Caleb Williams. Sturjoy, full PPR stuff on Diggs, Michael Wilson would be Diggs. London or Myers. Sleepy is Myers or Gainwell would be Jacoby Myers. Long story, Tyler Warren, Taysom Hill, Parkinson, Corum, Pearsall, Kyle Williams, need 1 tight end and 2 flexes. Okay, so Tyler Warren would be my tight end. 2 flexes would be Corum and Pearsall if he plays. If he doesn't, you can pivot to Parkinson. That'd be my approach there, Moon's man. So Warren, Pearsall, and Corum. If Pearsall misses, Kobe Parkinson is the pivot. P-card, also, would you keep Warren in or grab Tungens? I would be playing Tyler Warren over Tungens. Patrick, Wandell Robinson, or BTJ. Sad we're here, is it not? I'm just gonna say, I know it's been injuries and etc., but I was not a big BTJ guy a year ago. I'm just saying. Either way, not here nor there, but disappointing season for managers of BTJ. Brandon Spattery, Trevor, or Josh Allen. I'm going Allen. I think we might get a rushing touchdown or 2 there from Josh Allen. Emirez, Tyler Warren, or Tungens would be Warren. Carter or Sampson would be Michael Carter. David is hi, Jeremy. Struck out with Waddle and Diggs. Are you still Waddle? I'm wondering with Butte and Mac Hollins, but Diggs out or targets. I need a safer play after Henry explosion. I would go Waddle. John, full PPR, Evans or AJ Brown. I will go Evans. Warren or Tungens would be Tyler Warren. Werner Glass, Tyler Warren or Loveland would be Warren. Midnight Mayor, Evans or Michael Wilson would be Evans. Daniel Crabtree, defense Seahawks or New England would be New England for me. Easy E, Henry, Johnson or Strange would be Henry. I'm a moose now. Barner, Mayer, or Parkinson. I would say Parkinson here. Stevenson or Brees Hall for Sean would be Hall. Lauren, Hayden, Hertz, or Stafford would be Stafford. Ty, start 2, DJ Moore, Burden, Kyle Williams would be DJ Moore and probably Kyle. Don't really want to start both Bears receivers. And Godwin or Downs would be Godwin. Just face Derrick Henry. Who do I start? T-Law or Baker would be T-Law. Waddle or Kylan Williams would be Waddle. Elliott or Borgalis would be Borgalis. And then Juwan Johnson. Boston Connor. Need full PPR 2 of 4. Marv, Devontae Smith, Shakir Burden. Right now I have Shakir and Burden starting. I'm sorry. I'd probably go with that. I agree. So Pandas, Rashid Shaheed, Khalil Shakir, Taysom Hill, or Trey Tucker for final flex spot. I guess Shakir. Don't love it, but better than the rest. So we got Marv, Pittman, or AD Mitchell. I would go Pittman there. Oh boy, Burrow or Hurts for Rob White would be Burrow. DK Loveland or Tungens would be Tungens. Burden or Corum would be Corum. Wandell or Burden would be Wandell. And then Strange or Jawan would be Jawan. Carl Havoc, need a high ceiling. Devontae Smith, Mitchell, or Burden. We'll go with Burden there. No Joe rolling the dice, rolling with Brissett, Carter, and Wilson stack today. Yikes. You never know. Might be all right. Fire Chris Ballard, Goddard, or Mayer. I will go with Mayer there. Goddard or Tungens would be Tungens. Zach Barnes, Stevenson, or Irving would be Irving. Chris Olsen, Henry, or Tungens would be Henry. And then Burrow or Brissett would be Burrow. Scooby, Rodriguez, Josh Downs, or Kyle Williams will be Kyle Williams. Johnny Pigeon, Michael Williams, Wilson, or Ken Walker would be Ken Walker for me. Let's see here. Lawrence or Purdy would be T-Law. Giants or Jags would be Jaguars defense for space ape over on X. Carter Tet or Carter would be Michael Carter. Carter. Everybody gets Carter. Lucas Garza, Taysom Hill, Tungens, or Loveland would be Tungens for me. Let's see here. Tom Scott, Strange, Henry, or Loveland would be Henry. Nick's Twitter, Dylan Sampson, Taysom Hill, or Jack Besh would be Sampson. Thomas Reyes, Abuka, McMillan, Pearsall would be Pearsall. Tyler Johnston, Waddle, or Devonta would be Waddle. So we got Carter or Dylan Sampson would be Carter, and A.D. Mitchell or Parker Washington would be Parker. Mouse, Michael Carter, Brees Hall, Ricky P. Pick 2 would be Carter and Pearsall. Coker or Rashid Shaheed would be Coker. Henderson or Jennings would be Hendo. Taysom Hill or Hunter Henry would be Henry. Dun, dun. Ambush, Henderson, Pollard, or Dylan Sampson would be Hendo. May or Purdy would be Drake May. Efren, T-Mac, Myers, or Thomas for flex would be Jacoby Myers. Chingang, Warren Strange, or Hill would be Strange. Burden, Loveland, or Sampson. I'll go Burden. Let's see here. Adam start 2, Waller, Burden, Dowdle, Hill. Dowdle and Burden. Started seeding Ferguson already. Starting Chase Brown and Bucket running back. Jalen Waddle at wide receiver. Minor receivers in one flex spot. Should I play my flex spot? Coker, Parker Washington, Kyle Williams. I will say Washington. Tommy Ballard, Monangai, or Corum would be Corum. Ryan, Michael Carter, or Swift would be Swift for me. Chase Tunick, May, or Brissett, worried about a blowout. Wouldn't be. May, second, 2 running backs and a flex from Rico, Bucky, Travion, Warren, and Waddle. So Hendo and Bucky, or actually Hendo and Warren, and then Waddle and flex. And then Tungens over Goddard in flex there, Chase. Nico's Giants or Saints defense and special teams. I will go New Orleans. David Naylor, Strange or Tungens. I would go Strange. And am I starting Myers? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Bob Viggers, London or Olave. I would just go with Olave to avoid the London injury concern. I would Gooey. Bucky Irving, Juwan Jennings, DeAndre Swift, flex. I will go Jennings. Stafford or Hurts for UCF football. I would go Stafford. Kevin Bean, Stevenson, Evans, or AJ Brown standard scoring. I'll go Evans. Luther Burden or Bucky. I will say Bucky Irving. One running back, two flexes, Ken Walker, Pollard, Goddard, Diggs. So Walker, Diggs, and Pollard. Mikey, Michael Carter, or AJ Brown. I'll go Carter. Danny Mita, Abuka, or Burden would be Burden. Dylan Strange or Tungens would be Strange. Must be nice. Tet or Michael Carter. With the illness Seattle matchup, I'm gonna go Michael Carter here. Must be nice. I'm gonna risk it. Risk it for the biscuit, right? I just don't love that setup for T-Mac right now. Where I like Michael Carter likely to find the end zone. So I'm gonna go that route for you. Nicky Carrick, Tracy, and Henderson as flex play. Got Bijan Gainwell as my starters. I will go Henderson over Tyrone Tracy. Jason Hopper, Burden, or Kyle Williams. I will go with Luther Burden. Daryl Gaskins, half PPR, Burrow, or May. I'm in on May. Irving or Michael Carter. I am going with Bucky Irving. Mike Evans versus Michael Wilson is Mike Evans. He's got a lot of yards to get for the 1,000-yard season. So, yeah. Diesel D, pick 2 running backs, Swift, Warren, and Carter would be Swift and Warren. Bruce W, Fannin, Hill, or Pitts would be Fannin. I feel like I answered this one for Lucas, but Tungens, Taysom Hill, and Loveland would be Tungens. Dustin Bryan, Strange or Tungens would be Strange. Just saying, I've gotten a lot, and you're welcome. Must be nice. Got a lot of tight end questions today. Michael Carter or Ramondre for MH is Michael Carter. Fannin, Tungens, Hill, Warren, or Goddard would be Fannin. Carter or Corum for Fantasy Guru would be Carter. Durs, Tet McMillan, Michael Wilson, Wandell Robinson would be Michael Wilson. Drew Blair, Wandell, or Michael Carter. I will go Michael Carter. Joe, London, or Bucky. Joe, I'm probably going to go Bucky unless you have somebody to pivot to for Drake London. Questionable tag, always scary. We don't want a 0. So I would probably go Bucky Irving to avoid that, unless you have, say, Darnell Mooney, Kobe Parkinson, Blake Corum, like somebody to pivot to. I would go with Bucky Irving. Sonam on X would be Tyler or Jalen Warren, or Michael Carter would be Jalen Warren. GG Tyler or Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy. I will go with Lawrence. Nikki Carrick, Stevenson, Dowdle, or Sampson. I will go with Dowdell. Mauricio, Swift, or Taysom Hill. I will go DeAndre Swift. Edgar, Michael Wilson, Pollard, BTJ, or Tungens in flex. I will go Wilson. John Hansen, one last hurrah for the title, down 15 going into today. Need one Gainwell, Mondre, or Michael Carter. I will go with Gainwell. Brissett or Hurts. I will go with Brissett. Why did I say that so weird? But I did. Kittle question. So I'm starting Waller at tight end, but do I flex Carter or Taysom? Closely projected matchup so far. Getting a ton of, not necessarily Kittle questions, but Tungens questions, Joe. Michael Carter is probably my flex here. Like spot for him against Cincinnati. Likely scores, terrible run defense. So Arizona's going to have to try to do something, maybe slow the game down. Don't want to have Burrow throwing 45 times on you. So likely sees a lot of Carter, kind of slow churning type of drives is probably their hope. So I would say Michael Carter for sure. Also, don't believe in Taysom Hill. I just don't. Maybe I'll be the one that's wrong, but I just don't. He hasn't had 15 plus touches all season. They get it last week. There's some murmurs that was kind of a thing, that they wanted to get him involved for like a last hurrah and blah, 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 blah. So whether that's true, whether it's not, we may never know. But I just still think that Michael Carter's the better start. If you can get Tungens though, Joe, over Waller, that's what I would do personally, just so you know. 2 championships today for Oscar. I like Caleb over Purdy. Agree. It kind of Purdy ranked over Caleb, but like I can easily paint a picture where Caleb has the better day. Juwan over Barner is correct. And would you trust Michael Harrison Jr., Burden, or Michael Wilson as flex? I would go either Wilson or Burden. Don't want to make that mistake again here with Marvin Harrison Jr. I did it last week, but I'm probably going with Burden, especially if you're playing Caleb. Kind of, stack that up a little bit. Jackson, Brissett, or Hurts would be Brissett, and then Tungens or Taysom would be Tungens. May or Stafford for Moeller would be May. Dejon Jones, Etienne, or JT. I still like JT. BTJ or Wilson would be Wilson. I have McBride and Kittle, so I've been using Kittle as flex. Who do you go with? Luther, Burden, Corum, and price of Kittle. Also, Tungens available. I would go Tungens. Jason Oaks, Tungens, or Jawan Johnson would be Jawan. Jared Water, Wilson, or Jennings. I am going with Jawan Jennings. May or Burrow would be May for Alexis. Hummings, Show, Purdy, or Brissett. I will go with Purdy. Evans or Higgins for Rangers annoy me is Evans. Thanks. Jared Waddle, Michael Wilson would be Waddle. AG, Diggs, or Waddle. I will go Waddle. It is sweet. You are welcome, Oscar. Well, good luck in those final 2 championships. Hopefully we bring home at least one of them. 50%, I'd take that. I've got a couple that I'm going on. And of course, the ones that I want to win are the two that I'm projected to lose right now. That's usually how it goes, right? So I can't complain. Going to win a couple, maybe, of the other ones. But the two I wanted to win, it's not looking too good. So good luck to you, Oscar, though. Hopefully, maybe we can win both of them. That'd be sweet, right? Michael Wilson, Tyrone, Tracy. I will go Tracy there for you, Larry. Jordan, Dallas Goddard, or Hunter Henry would be Henry. Jordan, Wandell Robinson, Michael Wilson. I will go Wilson. And then Juwan or Waller would be Juwan. LZ, T-Mac with an illness, or Wandell, Tucker, Downs, Pearsall, or Coker. Probably going T-Mac there. Jags or Saints would be Jags on defense. Generalists, who do I start in flex full PPR? Ibuka, Parker Washington, Blake Corum. I will go with Corum. Wasn't totally buying the Corum hype to begin with, but he's become reliable. Maynor, Fannin, Henry, or Barner. I will go Fannin. Hurts in questionable weather, or Trevor Lawrence for Jim would be Trevor Lawrence. Jorge, Gainwell, or Diggs would be Gainwell. Let's see here, Amanda. Burden over Carter. No. Ben Cleveland, Brian Thomas Jr., or Pittman. I'll go Pittman. Pinheiro or McPherson. Pinheiro. Hey. Chris, Goddard, Tungens, or Taysom Hill would be Tungens for me. For Goddard, Hill, or Tungens, again, would be Tungens for me. Michael Carter or DeAndre Swift for Carter would be Carter. Kyle, what's up, Kyle? I'm gonna go. Rico Dowdle here, really close. Samson injury, obviously leading into the game. So I'm gonna go with Rico just because I think that that's probably how Carolina is gonna attack Seattle. Try to shorten the game a little bit. Try to kind of be the more physical team at home. So I'm gonna go with Rico. Fonz, flex, Ryan Thomas Jr., Breece Hall, Michael Carter. I will go Carter. Raul, Michael Carter, Tyrone Tracy. I will go with Carter. Daniel, full PPR, Hall, Corum, Dowdle, or Carter. Pick one. I will go Carter. Rams or Saints defense. I will go with the Rams. Henderson or Loveland. I will go Henderson. Pick one, Dart or Darnold. Would be Dart. Paulo Cantos, what's up? Travion or Gainwell. I will go with Travion Henderson. He's cleared from the concussion. Got to believe he's good to go. More explosive player than Stevenson. Stevenson may get a touchdown, but I do think that Henderson will have a pretty big day alongside him. Pick two for Carter, Waller, or Hunter Henry. Michael Carter and Hunter Henry for me there, Joe. Pretty sizably. Not in on Waller this week. For Fino, T. Higgins or Trey Henderson. I will take Henderson over Higginson. Oh my God, just made up a name there. Hey, huh. I will take Henderson over Higgins for you. Fino, maybe. Sorry, I've been pronouncing it wrong. Trying my best. JC Boggs, Ibuka, Waddle, Carter at flex would be Waddle. Jason Michael Carter, or Kyle Williams would be Carter. Shocked FRL, Parker Washington, Dylan Sampson. I will go Sampson on that one. Eddie Minja, Tet, or Burden. I go Burden. Warren or Loveland. I will go with Tyler Warren. Tet, Pearsall, BTJ, or Burden. We'll go Burden and T-Mac. Mouse, I have Fannin over Pitts right now, but I could flex Pitts for Pearsall. Thoughts? For Ruffino, I would go Tungens over Loveland and Hill for sure. Paolo, Ted McMillan, Brian Thomas, or Kyle Williams. Probably going T-Mac here. I know it's concerning, tough matchup, kind of the illness. But I still think that Carolina's in the thick of it right now, and they need this win. So does Seattle. Could be a little bit of a back and forth game-ish type of play. Kyle Williams concerns me. Kind of a big play guy. Don't really love the consistency he offers us, so I'm probably going Tet there. Kyle Williams is the second, though, if you have other feelings, Paolo. Drake London, T. Higgins. For Fino, unless you've got an option to pivot off of Drake London, go with T. Higgins, because if London misses, we don't want that big zero in our lineup. So I would avoid that unless you have a waiver wire pickup that you can add or someone on your roster to pivot to. Then I'd prefer London if he plays, but we don't know if that's going to happen. So I would probably go T. Higgins to avoid that potential situation. Devin Tungens or Wilson in the flex spot. I would go Michael Wilson over Tungens. Pickles, Kyle Williams, Chris Godwin, or Burden. I will go with Burden. Michael Carter, Travion Henderson would be Henderson there pretty easily. Taysom Hill, Jalen Warren in flex for Vincent would be Warren. Trey Tucker, Dylan Sampson. I will go with Sampson. Let's see here. Justin Axelrod, Pitts, Wilson, Waddle, pick 2. Waddle and Pitts. Whoa, that totally spelled Waddle wrong. What just happened? Good old technology going on over here. Oh. For Fino, JSN, T, Drake, my only options. Okay. Yeah, I would go JSN and T. I feel like you're going to get a good game out of JSN, so I don't know if you need, I mean, everybody needs the upside, but T is probably the safer play, just so you don't end up with the 0 out of Drake there. Easier one, Burrow, May, Stafford. It's not easy. Why are you making it easy? It's not easy. These 3 are like top 5 options. They're all good. I guess maybe it is easier. Just pick them. Whatever 3 you want. I'm not worried about a blowout for May. Never know with these division games. I also sneakily suspect the Patriots lose one of them. Maybe that's a little typecasting because I want the Bills to win. But either way, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Personally, I would go May and Stafford. That would be my 2. Stafford's kind of the safe play. May's your upside. May has more upside than Burrow to me, just because of the rushing. So I'm going to go with May and Stafford for you there, Joe. Juiced, Loveland, or Hill. I would go with Colston Loveland there, Juiced. I do not believe one bit in Taysom Hill. KT, Genty, or Warren. I would go Ashton Genty. I had some people asking about him being shut down potentially or not as much usage because they're out of it. I don't believe in that stuff. It could happen, I guess. But I would go with Genty over Jalen Warren. Bruce Barner, Hill, or Tungens. I will go with Tungens. Sims, Burrow, or Stafford. I would go Stafford. Michael Wilson or Diggs. I would go Diggs. Chug, Mike Evans, Michael Wilson, BTJ. I will go with Evans. Burham, side piece, Waller, Charbs, and Spears. Yuck. How about that one? We'll go with Spears, I suppose. Rafael, Strange, or Tungens. I will go with Strange. Samson or Pollard. I will go Pollard. Bob Virgis, Strange, or Loveland would be Strange. Will, Samson, Hill, or Manungai. I will go with Samson. Mike Honcho, Stafford, or Brissett. I will go Stafford. Tungens or Juwan Johnson would be Juwan. A tweet was deleted. Hate when that happens. KT, Bucks, defense, or Jags? Jags. Like that spot against Indy. Better defense. So I'm going to go that route. Feeling about Dart for Superflex. I can grab Rivers off waivers. No. I'm in for Jackson Dart. I mean, I know it was a rough go last week, but like Minnesota versus Vegas. Big two differences in defense and quality of defense. So, yeah, I like Jackson Dart today. I think he's a solid play. Rick Gunham on X, Trevor Lawrence, or Jacoby Brissett would be T-Law. John, Michael Carter, or Swift. Ooh, I will go with Swift there. It's a close one. Ranked really muchly near each other. Ariel, Goddard, or Tungens would be Tungens. Whoa, not a big O, little O. Big O, little O. Vinny, need to Warren, Gainwell, DJ Moore would be Warren and DJ Moore. KT, Baker Mayfield, or Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence. Like spot against Indy. I think he could have another big day. Well, it's going to be 50 points, but should have another big day. A couple touchdowns, maybe a rushing one in there as well. Defense, Eagles, Giants, Saints, bias Birds fan. Hey, I feel you. I'm a Bills fan, so we're kind of enemies today, Paolo. If you couldn't tell by all the stuff in the background. Either way, yeah, Eagles could be good though. Josh does like to turn the ball over lately. But yeah, I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I like the spot for them against Tennessee personally. Decent defense up against a rookie quarterback. It's gotten better, but still turns the ball over. A little gunslinger type of mentality. I'm in on that, so I will go with the Saints. The Giants defense just isn't good enough. Good matchup, just isn't good enough for me to like want to start them personally. So JD Gibby, Josh Allen, or Trevor Lawrence. I've been going back and forth on this all morning. I've actually had a lot of questions on these two. I still lean to Allen. I know the weather's not great and the receivers are just terrible. But I do think that there's a good chance that the run game could be a little tough in the red zone against that Eagles front. And I think that's where Allen could make the hay today. I don't know if we want to risk that because there's a good chance Allen gives you 7 points and isn't much of a factor. And it's more of James Cook all day. But if you're worried about that, which is a fair concern, Trevor Lawrence is a good pivot. Just talked about it with KT's question there. I like him. Good spot in Indy. Easier matchup. Probably safer to a double-digit point production. But I think Allen has the higher upside, JD. So up to you. I guess it's what can you sit with? If Allen goes off for 30 on your bench and Lawrence gets you 20 and you lose, like, are you okay with it? I guess that's the question. But it could also be reversed. Allen could get 5 and Lawrence could get 20. So, yeah. I probably still lean Allen by the slightest edge, JD. But I'm fine if you want to go Trevor Lawrence, if there's that back of your mind thinking, hey, go Birds, right? I don't want that, Paulo. I'll say it for the sake of you. But yeah, no, I need the Bills to win. Okay. I need them to win. All right. Unless, of course, the Patriots. Although we will know. If the Patriots win, like, maybe it's okay if you want the Eagles to win. But you guys are already in the playoffs. Who cares? Just sit all your starters. Derek Mendoza, Henderson, Brees Hall, Michael Carter. I will go with Henderson. Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, and look, X broke. Gotta love it. Or Jorge Lewis. I think that's how that's pronounced. Hunter Henry or Harold Fannin. We're going to go with Harold Fannin. Steve Mendez, Carter, or Henderson would be Henderson. Michael D. Ryan going for the win. Had Pet in my starting lineup with illness. Would you change BTJ or Tyler Warren? No. Yeah, JD, I would. If you're up by 20, yeah, take Lawrence. I 100% agree. I think that's the safer of the plays. CJ need 1, Dowdle, Irving, Carter, Stevenson. I will go with Irving. Let's see here. Victor Mancrati, defense, Giants or Browns. Hurting head this Sunday. I will go with the Giants of those 2 options there. Courtney, would you change anything? So we got Stroud, Bijan, Javante, Jennings, Sutton, Waller, Myers. Decent. Wait, hold on a second. Please hold. I gotta look at that again because I think I just saw DJ. So my only play here for you, Courtney, would be Parkinson over Waller. Jackson, Ramondre, or Travion. I am going with Henderson. There. Gaffney. All right. PPR league. Running back 2 spots. Stevenson, K9, Carter, Sampson. I like K9. Would you flex any of these guys over Evans, Wilson? No. Lawrence or Burrow. I will go with T-Law. Astro, Gainwell, or Pollard would be Gainwell. Ian, Tyler Warren, or Mayer. I will go with Tyler Warren. Paul, Benner, Hertz, or Purdy, Corum, or Henderson. So I will go Purdy and Hendo. JBG 510 Shuck or Hertz would be Shuck. Tungens, Goddard, or Taysom would be Tungens. Texas Strange or Loveland. I will go with Brenton Strange. Drew, Tet, or Fannin. I will go with Fannin. Humongous, Tungens, Fannin, or Pitt. Wow. Yeah. It's a good group of 3 right there. GGEZ, pick 2, Bucky, Gainwell, Pollard, or Dowdle would be Bucky and Gainwell. Carter, pick 1, Dowdle, Burden, Godwin, Kyle, Williams. We'll go with Dowdle. Boston Dynasty, pick 2, start from Loveland, Strange, Corum, Taysom Hill. Strange and Corum for me. Juan in a million, London or Jennings would be Jennings. Oh, too many letters. Samson over Carter. Not too crazy. I need an elite ball knowledge. Maybe I can give it to you, Mister. Gibson Pickens. Yeah, they did come up short. May or Lawrence. I would go with May. Wide receiver 2, Washington or London. Flex need 2, Warren, Henderson, Walker, Carter, Strange. Defense, Pitt or New England. I would go with New England. Ronaldo, Championship Day, Genty or Gainwell would be Genty. Pitts or Jalen Warren, projected to lose by 19. Ouch. I will go Warren. Allen or Lawrence. I will go Allen. Bills or Pats. I will go New England. With Kittle out, Fannin, Juwan, Henry. Fannin. Charlie, Godwin, Mitchell, or Burden. For flex, I will go Burden. Strange or Parkinson. I will go Strange. Dowdell or Gainwell would be Gainwell. Pittman, DJ Moore, or Waddle. I will go DJ Moore. Kittle out, limited options. Smashe, Pirine, Zacchaeus, Sanders, Slayton. I will go Pirine. Flex, JT, Evans, Swift, Jalen, Warren. I'm going to go Evans. Evans or Jawan Jennings for Squill would be Evans. What's up, Mike? How's it going? You're welcome. Let's see here. Caleb or Baker? I'd go Caleb Williams. A lot of people aren't kind of in on Caleb. I know it's a tough matchup against San Fran, but like we just saw him go pretty ham there last week, and I think that we could see something similar again this week. A good matchup back and forth. Both teams have a lot to play for. And I'm just not totally in on Baker in the Tampa passing attack. I think his injuries hindering him way too much. So I'm going to go with Caleb there. Healthier quarterback, equal talent, in a good back and forth matchup. That screams like tons of fantasy points to me. So Chris Comedies, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Warren, DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings. That's a good group to pick from. Jennings would be one of them. And probably DJ Moore, honestly. Last flex spot, Wandell or Gainwell would be Gainwell. Walker or Warren. I would go Warren. Tungens or Loveland would be Tungens. Arden, Tucker, Pierce, or Burden for the last flex spot would be Burden for me. Strange or Pitts for Noah would be Pitts. I lost my spot. Please pause. Oh, look at Milo coming in hot. Looks like Kittle's out. definitely probably out. Would you start Loveland or Tungens or pick up Waller? Milo, I would go Tungens. Loveland's close. Kind of have him in the same spot, borderline tight end ones, touchdown dependent. But I think Tungen's more safe to score a touchdown with the lack of receiver help there in San Francisco at the moment. And has had already shown some production when Kittle's out. So I'm going to roll with Tungens there for you. Milo, whoa, that zoomed in way far. Pitts or Tungens would be Pitts there for you, JD. Allen or Baker Mayfield for Austin. I'm going with Allen. Jordan, one more Bucks D or Jags D would be the Jags. Daniel Gomez, Kittle may be out. Juwan Johnson, Tungens or Loveland would be Juwan. F. Hearn, need one flex, Dowdle, Carter, or Burden. I would go Carter. Derek Barner, Waller, or Tungens. I would go Tungens. Colton, pick one for flex. Carter, Harrison, or Charbonnet would be Carter. Eric Holler, Tracy, or Corum. I would go Tracy. Mr. Blue Sky, Samson, or Burden. I would go Samson, considering it's standard scoring. Samson probably has a chance to score maybe more points. Jacks to found, Saints, Giants, or Bucks defense. I would go New Orleans. You're welcome, Milo. Anytime. That's what I'm here to do. Here to help y'all. TY, would you go Downs or over AJ Brown? Probably not. I get it, but no. Get it, but no. Conservative Merc, JT or Tracy. Don't get it, JT. Eric Alchia, Barner or Tungens. Tungens. A-Chain, Olave, or Chase Brown. I will go with Devon A-Chan. Full PPR, pick 2. Hendo, Gainwell, Jennings. Hendo and Jennings. Kyle, Michael Wilson, or BTJ would be Wilson. Kyle Williams or Wandell for flex, I will say will be Wandell. Jonas Johnson, Carter, Dowdell, or Ramondre would be Carter. Devontae or Burden would be Luther Burden. Mitchell Cook, Taysom Hill, or Harold Fannin would be Harold Fannin. 1K Marcus, Burden, Sampson, or Rico. I'll go with Sampson. Need a flex, Pollard, Bucky, Michael Wilson. I would go Bucky there. Dave Thrower, pick 2, Warren, Walker, Hendo. Daniel picked 2 out of Gainwell, Dowdell, and Tracy. I'm going to have to sit Dowdell there. Let's see here. Emmanuel, first, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence would be May. Henderson or Rico would be Hendo. Henderson. Let's see here. Warren or Waller would be Warren. 2. Evans or Jennings. Evans. Brissett or Burrow. And Burrow. Sturk, Sampson, or Trey. Dylan Sampson. Pretty simple for me there. Have him pretty far ahead. Craig McDermott, Habit Holidays to you as well. Need 2 at wide receiver, 1 at flex. Mike Evans, Wilson, Tetz, Tony Pollard, and need 1 quarterback. Okay, so 2 at wide receiver, 1 flex. So Evans is a lock. I would go Michael Wilson and Tony Pollard would be the 3 there in the first part. So Evans, Wilson, Tony Pollard. Your 1 quarterback would be Jacoby Brissett over Sam Darnold. Craig. Holmes and Watson, Sampson, Abuka, Hill, Thielen. I will go Dylan Sampson. Luca, half PPR pick 2, Sampson, Trey, Charbonnet would be Sampson and Trey. Taysom Hill, Brenton Strange would be Strange. Brees Hall, Michael Carter would be Carter. Pick 2, full PPR, PTJ, Gainwell, Warren, Pitts. Warren and Pitts. Tracy Pollard or Wilson, pick 2 for half PPR. Tracy and Wilson. Core Puncher, Carter, Rico, Wandell, Burden. Carter. Full PPR, Stephon Diggs, Wilson, Burden, Robinson would be Diggs. For Anthony, CJ, Shaheed, or Burden, I would go Burden. Armando, Jawan, or Tyler Warren would be Jawan. Michael Wilson or Jalen Warren, I would go Jalen Warren. Tet or Burden for Slim Reaper. I'm fine going with Luther Burden over Tet with the illnesses, etc. Wise rankings, pick 1. Dyke, Trey Tucker, Coker. I will go Trey Tucker. Fantasy baller, pick 2 wide receivers, Wilson, Evans, Waddle. Sit Michael Wilson. Shut it down, Kittle out, Tungens or Taysom Hill would be Tungens. Rocking 2 Titans championship weekend, my plan. Yeah, well, that's how it rolls. Cookie just crumbles that way sometimes, Mouse. D and George, 86, Carter, Devontae Smith, or Burden would be Carter. Top shelf action news. Hello. Corum, and Mitchell, Parker, Washington. Corum would be my start there. Goose, Jalen Warren, Gainwell, Stevenson would be Warren. And Gainwell, I guess you're starting 2 Pittsburgh ones because I do not believe in Stevenson too much today. Need 2 to Wandell, Pearson, London. Shane, full PPR start 2, MHA, Shakir, Charbonnet, Burden, Pittman, or Michael Wilson. Wilson and Burden. Tajay Spears, Singletary. I saw enough. Sampson. Courtney would change anything. Brissett, HN, Carter, Evans, Smith, Goddard, Gainwell. Let's see here. Tight end position. Kind of scary. Nobody there. Oh, Kyron Williams on the bench. Start 2, May, Hurts, or Lawrence. Drake May and Trevor Lawrence. Top shelf action. Josh Miller, Carter, Tracy Jr. would be Carter. Brissett or Caleb Williams. I will go with Caleb over Brissett. K9 or Swift. I would go with Swift. Michael Carter, Ken Walker would be Carter for Chris. Strange or Hill for championship would be Strange for you, Bryce. JB, second part of my question, Jackson Dart, Taylor Shuck. I would go Dart. Cody Nelson, good morning. I would play DeAndre Swift over AJ Brown. Carson Bodecker, Waddle, Michael Wilson, DJ Moore, and Fannin for flex. Pick 2. Waddle and DJ Moore. Brian Utter, start 2 PPR, Taysom Hill, Hall, and Tungens. Tungens and Hall. Will Herringer, pick 2, Robinson, Shakir, Abuka, Downs, Shakir, and Robinson. Welcome, Cody. Alex, Giants, Saints, Titans, defense. I will go with the Saints. Eric, Parker, Washington, Blake Corum, Juwan Johnson. One spot would be Juwan. Matt, Warren or Taysom Hill would be Warren. Carter or Corum would be Carter. Paul T, Tracy or Henderson would be Henderson. FTR, Burden or Devontae Smith would be Burden. Oh, I'm typing. Burden, Corum or Brees Hall would be Corum. Who would think those would be the 2 over Brees Hall and Devontae Smith in Week 17? Wildness. Jeff Nunez, need 1. Samson, Brees Hall, Jacoby Myers, Michael Carter. I would go with Carter. W10, Ken Walker or Gainwell. Gainwell, Ken Walker or Tracy would be Tracy. Choose 2 between Burden, Dylan Sampson, Kyle Williams would be Burden and Sampson. G, Tyler Warren, Tungens, Taysom. It would be between Warren and Tungens. I lean to Warren. Tungens probably safer. Probably gets a touchdown. Probably like 10 to 12 points. Warren, I guess, could have a really, really big day, more of an explosion. So I guess whichever you feel you need. But I would say Warren or Tungens, but lean to Tyler Warren. 1 flex spot, Dowdle, Sampson, Monangai, Evans. Evans. Gainwell or AJ Brown. I'll go Gainwell. Full PPR, Burrow or T-Law. We'll go T-Law. Washington or Burden would be Burden. Downs or Hunter Henry would be Henry. RM Strange or Burden with Zacchaeus and TJ Moore potentially out. DJ Moore. When did DJ Moore get hurt? I would say Burden over Strange. Yes, G. Go Bills. We need a win today. Definitely need a win. London Moore or Burden. I would go with Moore. Brock Purdy or Brissett. I would go Purdy. Barner, Dallas Goddard. I would go Barner. finish up a couple questions here, and then we are going to dip out at 12:30 here now. Any other questions? Obviously, head on over to my X account, toss them in there. I will try to get to them before the 1 o'clock window. Got some stuff to finish up here, and then we will get to the questions on there. But obviously, like I said, I will try to get to them the best I can. I can't guarantee that I will, but I will try. They're both sick now. What is with the sickness going around? Everybody's getting sick. Interesting. Well, good to know. Hopefully not. But either way, I'd still go Burden over Strange for you, RM. That may work out even better, though, if they are both out. Either way, it was a great week 17. It was the last of the season. We will not have a week 18. If you do have week 18 start sit questions, I will be on X at PopesFFH on Sunday a little bit, but I'm actually going to the Bills game, so that also may be tough because I'm guessing they're going to be at 1 o'clock. But I'll do what I can, best I can. Either way, until next year, sadly. Best of luck. Hopefully we get some championships, and take care.